This is the Shib coin 1 month overview reading for the month of August 2023. It's currently June 28th, 2023, 2:24 p.m. Eastern Time. Shib coin at the time of this reading is currently 0.00007318. That's 5 zeros and then 7318, and that's USD. The shuffle file for the Shib coin 1 month overview reading for August was created on May 23rd, 2023 at 9:59 p.m. Eastern Time. That's this video right here. The overall theme and behavior for the month of August, we have an important resistance level highlighted on a 1 year kind of scale. It's crossed with a significant move higher after some sideways rotation, establishing support, a big move higher, staying out on a multi-day kind of behavior around the highest high. There'll be a notable move into the high. It'll stand out on a multi-year kind of scale, and we'll meet that key resistance there. Behavior around the lowest low will sell off from a overbought crest or peak down through multiple support levels on a multi-day kind of scale to meet the low. Before we go into the day-by-day chart behavior, let's take a look and see how we're doing for the 1 year reading. We've got a 1 year chart here, 1 year reading. We have a highest high here on the cusp of January, February, and it looks like we got it the highest high thus far right here at the very beginning of February, followed by these unicursal drops, which we have one and then we have two. One in early February, one in late February into March. Two unicursal drops, an important low. It looks like this lowest low is off. We weren't actually at a lowest low here, but this does stand out as a prominent low here in March. So we have a prominent low. We picked up a little bit on some sort of crest here on the cusp of March, April. And it looks like that ended up being here in April, followed by a decline into another important trough that stands out on a 1 year, and that's indicated here. So that's pretty solid. What we should see coming up is in early July, there's a pretty sharp drop. In August, we have a lot of price movement, and it looks like there's a highest high in there. Based on where we are right now, it may not be a highest high, but it's going to really stand out if it's not a highest high. The high in August will really stand out, and it's towards the end of the month of August. All right, so let's get into it. On the first, we have at the it looks like actually the last day of July, we sold off, or was an opportunity before selling off. Looks like there's a pretty sharp drop on the 31st, right? Oh, that's indicated by that ruin. Probably resistance level that's highlighted here on the first on a multi-day kind of scale. It's highlighted. Volume kind of peters out around that resistance, but there's two trade opportunities there. And it looks like eventually we decline into prominent trough here on the second, out of which we rally pretty notably along a diagonal trend line, and we break through horizontal resistance, meet a second resistance, and then we pull back to somewhere between those two price levels. Another prominent trough on the third with a significant move higher out of it, followed by a full retracement of that move back down there on the third. On the fourth, out of a trough, big move higher. On the fifth, a lot of price change. There's an important resistance level highlighted there, and maybe kind of like prominent crest here. A lot of price change. So there's a prominent trough and a prominent crest here on the fifth. A lot of price change between the two. So a lot of opportunity here to open a position in either direction, depending on your timing. And it looks like that same kind of behavior is carried over into the sixth. Another prominent trough there. So we're kind of like bouncing back and forth sideways, I think, after going a little bit lower here on the second and third, going kind of like sideways. On the seventh, we bump up against resistance, and we kind of use some sideways behavior along resistance. On the eighth, it looks like we break out through that resistance on the eighth. There's a trough on the cusp of the 7th, 8th, and there's a peak at the end of the day on the 8th, followed by a notable decline on the 9th that'll really stand out amongst the other declines throughout the month, taking us to another trough towards the end of the day with a big move out of that trough to the upside. Price swings on the 10th. So there's a notable decline there throughout the 9th, and that offers significant amount of opportunity. There's three separate trade opportunities there around the 8th, 9th, 10th, and we'll talk about that in more detail in the paid version. On the 10th, we have price swings with near overbought crest or peak that we sell off from towards the end of the day on the 10th. On the 11th, we rally, increasing with momentum moving forward in time, and we meet a key resistance. Looks like there's a pretty significant move. At first glance, I thought the 13th was going to be a highest high. Probably what it is on the cusp of the 12th, 13th, there's a really big move, maybe one of the biggest moves of the month to the upside there after we see the establishment of support on the 12th. Big move higher into the 13th, especially early in the day, move higher into the 13th. We meet a key resistance there, do some sideways rotation at a higher resistance. On the 14th, we decline through multiple support levels, and this is going to be another decline that really stands out. There's cross-reading congruency here, making me think that this is really like the decline that takes us into the low. What I mean by cross-reading congruency is we've got the debak card as the card taking us the behavior around the lowest low for the month of August. So what we would see is a debak kind of decline decline into the lowest low. It looks like we have a lowest low somewhere here around the 19th through the 21st. This would be this decline leading into it pretty much will stand out. A lot of price change covered on the 15th. Erratic price action. Looks like it's to the upside. However, there's an important crest or peak that we see on the 16th with a notable decline off of it. Between the 16th and the 17th, we see a pretty big move higher, kind of standing out on a multi-day scale. So on the 16th, off of a peak or crest, a significant move lower, standing out on a multi-year scale, and then on the cusp of the 16th, 17th, pretty big move back to the upside on a multi-year scale, taking us to another prominent crest from which we sell off pretty notably there on the 17th and revisit a support level that we recently met before, probably what we hit on the 16th. On the 18th, we have a crest that we sell off from down to and through support. We do a U-shaped reversal below support, come back and reuse it as support. And then we have a pop and drop on the 19th with a possible location of a lowest low there on the cusp of the 19th, 20th. On the 20th, there's a big move higher, and then we establish support at a higher price level at the end of the day on the 20th, followed by a notable decline on the 21st into where most likely is the lowest low here on the 21st. It's either on the cusp of the 19th, 20th, or on the 21st. We have a significant decline and another cross-reading congruency for the moon card, giving that decline extra importance. Price swinging into the 22nd out of that low. A lot of price change covered in the midst of those price swings. An important range on a multi-day kind of scale is highlighted on the 23rd. Trade opportunity there as well. We'll talk about in the paid version. Guys, I'm going to let you guys know how to get the paid version at the end of this video if you're interested in that. At an important range there on the 23rd, and it looks like probably a trough midday, and then a big move higher on the 24th, pushing the upper end of a range higher. On the 23rd, looks like out of a trough early in the day, there's another big move higher, meeting a key resistance, and then on the 26th, a lot of ground is covered price change as well. It looks like it's mixed. We first have like a failed attempt to break through key resistance, and then we have a decline there on the 26th, but a lot of price changes covered. We might see a highest high there. I think probably we see the highest high either on the 26th, 27th, or 28th. It's hard to determine exactly. We might see it all 3 days. There's sideways rotation on the 27th and some tricky chart behavior. Be mindful if you decide to place a trade there. Be very mindful that you're not doing the wrong thing around that high. And then on the 28th, a rally offering opportunity to open up a short position. I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. Crest at the end of the day, sideways rotation on the 29th, increasing with bullish momentum as we move forward in time. And then we meet a key resistance on the 30th that we met many times before and failed to break through. And we decline pretty hard from that key resistance off of a prominent crest there on the 30th, declining into the 31st, where we have a sideways fluctuating decline on the 31st. That offers an opportunity again to open up a position I'll talk about in more detail in the paid version. And then the September sneak preview is sideways fluidity, equal amounts of bulls and bears inflow and outflow. When we look at the September, we've got a lowest low. We go from a highest high into like a lowest low possibility. So doubtful that we see both of these. There is a lot of price change, so it could happen. When we get a little bit closer to August, we're going to have a better idea of if this is going to be a highest high or if this is going to be a lowest low. We're going to get into the best trades that we see for the month here, guys. You can check out that on our paid version. If you're interested in getting the paid version, it's a really great way to support the channel. You do so here on the Our Services tab of our website under SO Meta Posts, where you scroll down the monthly subscriptions, click here to order, and you can subscribe to any one of these tickers or crypto. We do monthly subscriptions for all of them. The paid version has about 3 to 8 minutes at the end of the video talking about the best trades and what we look for as far as entry and exit points. If you're interested in more than one, I'd highly recommend getting the 30 days to access to all of them. We also talk about trades on like a 1 year kind of scale and on a multi-year kind of scale in the paid version. So highly recommend getting that if this is something that you utilize regularly. It's really the right thing to do, my friends. And with that said, make sure to follow that rule of karma. You do so here on the resources tab of our website, Tarot for Traders, where we ask that you're donating 5% of the profits that you make from this information forward to one of these charities. 5% of the profits back to the channel here, one of these links. That leaves you with 90% of the profits. Make sure to spend that money out of love, and the universe is going to send it back to you tenfold through this channel, my friends. I'll see you guys on the next one. Stay tuned if you got the paid version.